What's going on, guys? Your boy Amazing here, back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we are here with the updated Grand Cross tier list as of the end of June 2025 here, guys. We're going to be going over all the characters that have come out in the past month of the game and ranking them on the tier list here for both PvP and PvE. If you guys do enjoy videos like this, man, definitely make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, as we are on the road to that 53,000 subscribers. I definitely do appreciate the support on the channel, guys. I woke up to it this morning. I'm posting this obviously the day after I'm recording this, so I'm recording this on the 29th, but it'll be out on the 30th. But yeah, I just want to say thank you guys so much for 52,000 subscribers, and yeah, we're on the road now to that 53k subscribers. So with that out of the way, guys, let's hop in and let's talk where we're going to be ranking these 5 characters that we have here, from Pellegarde all the way to the solo leveling collaboration, and where we're going to be ranking them on the tier list for both PvE, as you guys can see, and then we do also have PvP as well, since from last month's updated. So yeah, guys, let's start with the first character being Pellegarde here. We're gonna go over his kit, and then we'll talk about where he ranks on the tier list. Alrighty, guys, so starting out here with the Black Knight Pellegarde, we'll go through his kit real quick, and then we'll talk about where we're gonna rank him on the tier list. So starting out with his passive here, Knight of Flames, active in all content as well, by the way, increases human allies base stats by 5% for each one participating in the battle. At the start of the battle, 2 Hellbrand effects are applied on all enemies for 3 turns, and Hellbrand is going to be damage taken plus 20%, damage dealt minus 20%, and inflict additional damage equal to 10% of the target's max HP when the effect is removed due to skills, uniques, commandments, and elapsed turns. Stacks up to 3 times. Now applies Hellbrand for 3 turns on the enemy that takes damage from the hero's all target attack skills. Decreases human allies damage taken by 5% for each Hellbrand applied to enemies for a limit of 10 times. And then when the hero uses a single target attack other than their ultimate move to deal damage to an enemy with the maximum number of Hellbrand stacks, 1 buff is removed from the target. And when the hero uses a single target attack other than their ultimate move to deal damage to an enemy, all Hellbrand effects are removed from that target. The hero's damage taken decreases as well by 1% for every 1% of remaining HP as well. And so that's going to be the Knight of Flames passive right there for Black Knight Pellegarde. Let's move on now to his skill. So with his first skill here, guys, inflicts pyro clash damage equal to 200% of attack on one enemy. This is going to scale from 200, 300, 500% of attack with 2 times critical chance and plus 50% critical damage for each Hellbrand effect on the target. Now moving on to his second skill here, guys, we got Raging Flames. Inflicts weak point damage equal to 90% of the attack on all enemies, and weak point is going to be 3 times damage against debuffed enemies, scaling from 90, 120, and 185% of attack. Now moving on to his ultimate here, guys, at 1 and a 6 dupe level. So obviously this depends on your scaling for your dupes, but applies 3 Hellbrand effects on all enemies for 3 turns and inflicts pyro clash damage equal to 600% of attack on one enemy. So again, you guys know what Hellbrand is, and then pyro clash again is the exact same effect as the single target. So that's going to be how it works in terms of his ultimate and the actual you know, at least at one of the 6. Alrighty, guys, so now that we've gone over Pellegarde's kit, where we're going to be ranking the character on the tier list. Now for PvP, guys, I think this character is going to be in probably, and this is kind of tough to say, but I guess probably B tier, just considering what we've gotten with the release of solo leveling, which is kind of crazy. Pellegarde right now, I think, would be a lot better if the buff strip that he had in his kit was actually like a skill and not through the Hellbrand having to take into effect. And with that being said, it's really tough to warrant running Pellegarde because of that, when you can just run Cha now, right? Like, Cha with the solo leveling collapse, she's just so much better, and she has built-in buff like cancel in her skill, so she's not relying on like Hellbrand stacks to be able to do that, whereas like Pellegarde kind of needs that. So for me, I think I got Pellegarde right now in B tier. I think he's going to be a solid Chaos Battle unit. I mean, other than that, I don't really think you'll see him in like PvP, even in like sub-tier PvP meta. It's really going to be tough to say for that character, but I mean, yeah, I think he's still a very solid PvP option, but again, he's not going to be somewhere, you know, capable of like dealing with the best teams in the game. I think he honestly struggles even against the Hell team that was available when he did drop. So yeah, that's where I'm going to have him in the PvP side of the game, guys. Now for PvE, Pellegarde's kind of in a similar spot. He's pretty bad in PvE, man. I'm probably going to give him at the very least C tier though, because at least he has like single target with humans, so at the very least he can act as like a red DPS on like you know, Icthyrnir. He does fairly good damage as well in that. He's just not like, you know, a consistent option versus like, you know, if we go to like other red humans in the higher like tiers, we can do like, you know, LR Lilia, right? I think she's like a lot better wherever I have LR Lilia here. But yeah, and then like In terms of just like other options in general, like there's so many other than Pellegarde itself, at least for human single target. And so yeah, that's kind of a thing right now for where I'm like, yeah, it's really just not like recommended to really run this character over other characters that would have in the tier. Where did I put LR Lilia though? Actually, I definitely would have LR Lilia above him. Okay, yeah, so they're in the same tier, but I definitely would have LR Lilia above this character. For sure, yeah. But you guys see I have LR Lilia in that C tier, so it makes sense. Like, it is a thing of, like, you know, these characters and being red attribute, it gives them viability in Academia, but other Demonic Beast related content, they're never being run. Because you just run, you know, like another single target DPS being like Escanor or, you know, like Lancelot or whoever, right? So, yeah, guys, that's going to be Pellegarde right there. Let's move on now to the next character, the tier list being Varghese. Alrighty guys, so hopping into the retired knight Varghese, let's go over his kit fully and then we'll talk about where we're going to rank him on the PvP and PvE tier list. So starting out with the passive here for Varghese, Protective Grandpa, active in the sub slot and all content as well. For each 4 Knights of Apocalypse ally participating in the battle, their base stats are going to increase by 6%. If an allied Percival is participating in the battle, 4 Knights of the Apocalypse allies damage dealt increases by 20%, and max HP increases by 10% for each 4 Knights of the Apocalypse ally participating in the battle. And if an allied Percival is participating in the battle, 4 Knights of the Apocalypse allies attack related stats increase by 10% when he takes damage from an enemy skill during the enemy's turn, and it's going to be a limit of 3 times. So that's going to be his passive right there. Now moving on to his skills, guys. For his first skill here, we have Charge Assault. It's going to be buff strip, single target, so you know, just standard buff strip, and then cancel stances and buffs at the rank 3. So it's going to be 220, 300, and 400% of attack. Now moving on to his second skill here, it's going to be a remove debuffs on all allies on the rank 1. On the rank 2, it's going to be remove debuffs from all allies and increase defense related stats. And it's going to be the same thing on the rank 3, except it's going to grant debuff immunity and 80% defense related stats for 3 turns right there. So that's going to be the Battle Cry buff skill. And then moving on to the ultimate here, guys, we have Huntress Harpoon. This is at the 106 dupe level as well. Cancels buffs and stances on one enemy and inflicts damage equal to 490% of attack, then stuns for 1 turn, and stun is going to prohibit all actions on the enemy. Alright guys, so where are we going to be ranking Varghese on the Grand Cross tier list for this month? I think Varghese right now, let's talk, yeah, so let's do PvP first since we're already on it. PvP, Varghese is not really going to cut it either. Honestly, I think he probably goes with Pellegarde for like a chaos battle type unit. Right now, the problem is with Varghese, we don't have enough 4 Knights characters, right? The only 4 Knights characters we got in the game are Lancelot and Percival, right? Those are the only 2 that can actually benefit from his passive, because the Tristan that we have in the game is for Goddess team, so you're not going to run him on that team, right? He's not going to benefit. So yeah, with that being said, guys, right now he's kind of limited to what he can do, but when we do get future 4 Knights of Apocalypse characters, I definitely could see this character bumping up even to like maybe S tier, depending on how good those characters are able to be in the game, because the support he's providing for the team is very good. But it's a thing of like, you know, right now we don't have enough of those characters to warrant the support that he's providing. So yeah, right at the moment, I think I got him in the B tier for PvP. Now moving on to PvE though, guys, I think I'm gonna put Varghese in, yeah, again, like, I do see the value in Varghese though for the support he provides, and you just have to run Percival on the team, and then, you know, Lancelot in PvE is still very good too. So it's a very similar thing with Pellegarde. Like, I'm probably gonna slot him in, yeah, I mean, about the same tier. I wouldn't recommend running Varghese over, you know, any other standard human single target DPS in PvE. Like, I'm just gonna take, you know, like Escanor, I'm gonna take Lancelot, I'm gonna take even like Nasians for support. I'm gonna take that over, because at the very least, you know, they're providing more flexible support or more easily attainable DPS than with Varghese here, where Varghese is really only support, and he doesn't really have, you know, any crazy amount of support unless you're running a Percival alongside him or like 4 Knights characters. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely slot him in the C tier, but I definitely could see him moving up in the future depending on how the meta kind of changes. But yeah, that is going to be Varghese right there, guys. Let's move on now to the solo leveling collaboration and where we're going to be ranking those characters. We'll start out with Sun Jinwoo. Alrighty guys, now hopping into Sun Jinwoo here, the Monarch of Shadows. Let's go over his kit and we'll talk about exactly where we're going to rank him on the tier list. So starting out with his unique here, Monarch of Shadows, active in all content from the front. Applies Bloodlust on all enemies for 2 turns, then applies Monarch's Domain on the hero for 3 turns at the start of the battle. And what I'll do as well, guys, I'll put the dupe level at 1 to 6 for the passives just so you guys can see. So Bloodlust is going to be all stats minus 10%, damage taken plus 15%. Monarch's Domain is going to inflict damage equal to 8% of the hero's max HP on all enemies, and increases human allies base stats by 15%, and decreases their damage taken by 30% at the start of the ally's turn. Now at the start of the battle, and for each enemy hit by the hero's skills, the hero gains 3 level ups. Now the max levels can be level 100 resets at the end of the battle, and the level up, damage dealt, and basic stats is going to max out at level 30, but again you can still cap out at a total of an extra 100 levels in general. Now when the hero uses a skill, Bloodlust is applied to the target for 2 turns. When the hero uses an attack skill other than the ultimate move to deal damage to an enemy with Bloodlust, the target takes additional damage equal to 30% of the final damage. And if an enemy with the Bloodlust uses a attack skill on Sun Jinwoo on their turn, the skill coefficient decreases by 20% and only reduces the attack against Sun Jinwoo if it's an all target attack. So yeah, that's going to be his passive right there. So moving on now to his Holy Relic here, guys, Demon King Daggers. All stats of the hero increase by 5% for each human ally participating in the battle, and when a human ally dies, all stats of the hero increase by 10% for 3 turns, limit of 3 times, and then human allies damage taken decreases by 10% for each Bloodlust effect on the enemy. So that's going to be his Holy Relic. Now moving on to his skills here, guys, we got the Mutilate skill. Inflicts Mutilate damage equal to 200% of attack that does not critical strike on one enemy, and then the Mutilate is going to be 3 times pierce rate, and additional damage equal to 75% of your crit damage minus 100%. So you're still benefiting from crit damage. And then moving on to his second skill here, guys, we got Igris. Applies Infect for 1 turn and then inflicts weak point damage equal to 140% of attack on all enemies. Infect is going to restrict recovery related stats, and then weak point is going to be 3 times damage dealt against debuffed enemies. It's going to scale from 170 to 230% of attack. And then moving on to the ultimate here, guys. This is at the 6 out of 6 dupe level, so bear in mind this will change depending on the dupes. But applies Bloodlust for 2 turns, then inflicts Mutilate damage equal to 750% of attack on all enemies. And Bloodlust is going to be 10% all stats minus and damage taken. And then you guys know the Mutilate effect, which is going to be through the single target. Alrighty, guys, now where are we going to be ranking Sun Jinwoo on the tier list here for Grand Cross? So let's start with PvP, because I think it's fairly easy to say where Sun Jinwoo is going to be in PvP. I'm going to put him at the top of S tier, guys. And this is going to include the other solo leveling characters too, because that's how he is so strong, is because of the team itself and how strong the team is as a, you know, collective together. Right, they're just insanely strong. And another thing that I will have to do as well is move Sigurd up to that slot as well, because he's going to be the best backline support for that Sun Jinwoo, you know, kind of human variant. You do also have the option of Nanashi as well, and he's definitely very good too, just to kind of buff maybe Beru up a little bit more. But Sigurd is going to be the best backline in my opinion, especially when Beru is going to act as a human on the team to be able to get the buffs from Sun Jinwoo himself. So yeah, that's where I'm going to rank Sun Jinwoo in PvP, guys. Now PvE, I think Sun Jinwoo is going to be in the A tier, and I probably will have him less than King in the end. I think I actually am willing to put this character in the S tier, just based on how good their performance is in Ratatoskr. I mean, they are insane in Rat, and I do think that they're probably still the best character for Rat. So with that being said, I am going to actually give them the S tier, and they're still usable in pretty much all of their PvE other than the fourth floor. You know, so floor 4 of like the, you know, Bird and the Deer. That's where I think like Tyr and Xion are able to really kind of, you know, outshine that character. But yeah, I mean, it's really like just kind of dependent on the end game PvE you're doing, right? But I will give King in the end the S tier there. And then yeah, Sun Jinwoo I think is A tier. He's still great in PvE. A lot of the level up effects that he has in his kit is not really like that noticeable at the end of the day. Even if you are able to get to that level 200. But yeah, I mean, he's still a very solid character. He does a ton of damage. He's a great Rat DPS as well. And yeah, I mean, he's going to be really good across the board for a lot of the end game PvE modes. So yeah, that's where I'm going to have Sun Jinwoo in PvP and PvE, guys. Let's move on now to the next character from the collaboration, being Hae-In. Alrighty, guys, now moving on to the next character here, we have the dancer Hae-In. So let's actually go over exactly what she's able to do in her kit, and we'll talk about all of her info in the kit, and then where we're going to rank her. So for the passive here, guys, the dancer active in all content. We'll filter it by 1 out of 6 as well. If all allies participating in the battle are humans, the hero gains a Fragment of Glory and debuff immunity for 1 turn at the start of the battle. Fragment of Glory is going to be critical damage plus 60%, stacking him to 4 times. When a human ally uses a single target attack during the enemy's turn, or during the ally's turn, the hero is going to gain a Fragment of Glory. And then each time the hero gains a Fragment of Glory, human allies' basic stats will increase by 5% to a limit of 3 times. And then if the hero stacks the Fragment of Glory effect the maximum number of times, all instances of the effect are removed and the hero gains Blade of Glory for 3 turns. Blade of Glory is going to be 30% attack related stats, and damage dealt with single target attacks plus 100% removed when the attack target is defeated. And if the hero's HP is full, the hero evades enemy all target attack skills other than ultimate moves, and the hero gains a fragment of glory upon evading an attack. So very, very good passive right there. Now moving on to our holy relic here, guys. Baldur's Forgotten Sword increases human allies base stats by 5% for each one participating in the battle, and that's definitely a very good effect for a human team in general. This is active on field though for to be able to be used. Now moving on to our skills here, we got the Sword Rain, which can inflict light speed damage equal to 200% of attack on one enemy. Light speed is going to be 2 times critical chance, 40% damage dealt for every fragment of glory on the hero, and 2 times critical damage when the hero uses a skill while Blade of Glory is active. It's going to be 200, 300, and 500% of attack. Now moving on to the second skill here, guys. This is going to be the Buff Strip card. Same exact skill that Varghese had as well. So remove buffs on the rank 1, 220%, 300%, and then cancel buffs and stances, 400% of attack on the rank 3. Now moving on to the ultimate here, guys. This is at the 2 out of 6 dupe level, so bear in mind this does change. Gain a fragment of glory, then inflicts light speed damage equal to 280% of attack on all enemies. Now light speed again is going to be the same exact effect as the single target, and then the fragment of glory is the buff she gets from her passive as well. She's getting it in her ult. Alrighty guys, now where are we going to be ranking Cha in the PvP and PvE side of the game? Now PvP, guys, it's a must that she goes in the top tier, S tier. It's the exact same thing that I mentioned with Jinwoo, that they are collectively as a team the best team in PvP right now. They have pretty much everything to deal with other meta teams in the game. Cha being able to buff strip and kind of stop the Hell team and getting off the revive with them. She is very, very dominant with that. And then, you know, Jinwoo being able to provide a ton of the damage he does. And then with Sigurd backline, like, that's really strong. And spoiler alert, Beru will probably go in this tier as well, just based on how well this team is constructed together. And yeah, I mean, Cha in PvP is great alongside that team specifically. Now with other variants, you could definitely run her, but at least on the solo leveling team, she is definitely the best team in the game. And in terms of like the other meta teams that kind of shake up where, you know, they're being moved, I do think that, you know, King and Diane team is probably the best team to deal with Jinwoo. You know, you do have Goddess team as well, being a very dominant team as well to kind of deal with them. For now, what I'll do, just because, you know, we just got into this meta with solo leveling, I do want to keep the unknown team right there where it is. But again, this could definitely change, and I think like any of the teams in S tier right now could definitely kind of fall out of the meta, and it could definitely be very dependent on that. So we'll have to kind of see how it pans out. But yeah, right now I do see them as being a fairly strong team at that. So yeah, that's gonna be where I have Cha right now in PvP. Now moving into the PvE side of the game, guys, Cha is gonna be a very dominant A tier DPS for PvE. She is pretty much everything you want in a human single target DPS. Double single target that's gonna be able to crit as well, whereas Jinwoo cannot crit, so she benefits from running Roxy alongside her. So all, you know, standard demonic beast content she's gonna be insane in. I mean, in Nidhogg, she's an absolute like insane beast that has, you know, buff strip. You have the damage that she's able to do, which is crazy. Yeah, I mean, she is able to also kind of bypass some damage dealt or damage taken decrease on bosses, and you're still able to deal almost the max amount damage cap that she's able to do. So yeah, I mean, Cha, in my opinion, guys, is a very, very dominant character. Really is one of the strongest human PvE DPSs in the game. And yeah, I mean, right now I got her in the A tier. She's definitely alongside the other human single target DPSs, you know, with like Lancelot, you have Escanor, you know, Arthur. Yeah, a bunch of them, they're in the same kind of level of strength, but I do think that Cha is a little bit above that because she has both the utility with the buff strip and double single target at that. So that's where I'm going to have Cha right there for the PvE and PvP side of the game. Let's finish off the tier list, guys, with Beru, and let's see where we're actually going to rank this character on the tier list. Alrighty guys, so we are now hopping into the final character of the solo leveling collaboration, being Predator Beru. What I'm going to do as well when we go over the kit of Beru, guys, I'm going to mention the Holy Relic as well, but I'm going to put it on the screen when I actually talk about it, since I don't have the Holy Relic already in the game on my account yet. But I will edit it on the screen to show you guys what it's able to do. But let's start talking about Beru and what he's able to do in the game. So starting out with his unique here, guys, and King, active in all content from the, like, entering the battle itself. Now, I'm going to put it at 1 out of 6 so we know what he's able to do at 1 out of 6. race. So the hero is given the additional race human when participating in the battle with a darkness attribute hero. Increases applicable allies basic stats by 5% for each one participating in the battle, and the applicable ally is going to be Jinwoo and unknown races. Now the hero also gains the consume effect for 2 turns and taunts for 1 turn at the start of the battle, and consume is going to be 20% attack related stats. Now taunts enemies for 1 turn if the hero uses 2 single target attacks during the ally's turn, so he's able to refresh a taunt. And then if the hero's HP falls below 1 during the enemy's turn, while a consume effect is active, limit to once per turn, the hero recovers HP equal to 40% of max HP and gains 30% of attack related stats and 80% critical damage, 1 effect each up to a maximum of 2 for 3 turns. The hero also gains the absorb ability effect when consume is removed, or if the hero has consume at the start of the ally's turn, and absorb ability is going to be all stats plus 7% and damage dealt with single target attacks plus 35%, stacking up to 3 times. And the hero the hero recovers HP equal to 50% of max HP and gains the absorb ability effect when the hero defeats an enemy. So that's going to be the passive right there. Now moving on to the Holy Relic, guys, the hero's damage taken decreases by 40% for 2 turns whenever the hero reaches maximum number of HP, and this is going to be active in all content as well, so bear that in mind. Now moving on to these skills here for Beru, guys, we have the Hypersonic Assault. This is going to inflict consume damage equal to 200% of attack on 1 enemy. Consume is going to be 3 times pierce rate and 2 times critical damage. It is going to scale from 200, 300, and 500% of attack. Now moving on to the second skill, we have Fleeting Claw. Increases the hero's base stats by 3%, then inflicts amplified damage equal to 180% of attack on 1 enemy. Damage dealt is going to be plus 30% proactive buff for Amplify, and this is going to scale from 180, 270, and 450% of attack, with the basic stats going up from 3 to 5 to 7%. Now moving on to the ultimate here, guys, this is at 4 to 6, so obviously bear in mind that this will change. Increases own attack related stats by 40% and gains the consume effect, then inflicts consume damage equal to 702% of attack, and this is going to be on 1 enemy. Now consume again is going to be the exact same effect, and that's going to be the kit for Beru. Alrighty, guys, now where are we going to be ranking Beru on the tier list? So for PvP, I mean, again, we talked about it already, guys, but I do think solo leveling team as a whole is the best team in PvP right now. They're able to pretty much deal with every other meta team that we had in the game, and as a team structured together, they're super dominant. Beru being able to reapply his taunt and draw damage away from Cha and Jinwoo is insane. And then, you know, having the fact that Cha cannot take damage on AoEs, and then Jinwoo just getting the level ups and dealing the amount of damage he does, it's a really tough team to deal with. And at the moment, I do got them as the best team in the game. And by next month's tier list, I'll probably change up, you know, who's going to be sticking in S tier. But for now, since the meta is kind of like still kind of evolving with how to deal with a solo leveling team, I am going to leave every other team where it is in the S tier. But I do definitely think that right now unknowns are kind of taking a little bit of a backseat, but also, I mean, pretty much every other team is hard to deal with against the, you know, solo leveling team. It's just so strong, man, with what it's able to do. But moving on to the PvE side of the game, guys, Beru, I think, is going to be another A tier PvE unit, but possibly a S tier depending on how he does for me when I test him out on the floor 4 of the bird and possibly the deer as well. I think I'll probably just do floor 4 bird, but I think Beru is going to be insanely strong on floor 4 bird, because remember, you need a bunch of amplify. And Beru is going to act as a unknown character when we run him alongside all the other unknowns. I mean, he's going to be super strong for that. So look out on the channel, guys. I will be doing a Beru bird showcase on floor 4. That'll be coming out very soon. But yeah, I definitely see the value in this character. I mean, he acts as a human alongside Jinwoo, so he can still deal, you know, a ton of damage. He can bypass damage cap if you run him with Roxy and Jinwoo. Yeah, I mean, he's also an unknown character too. If you want to run him on unknowns, he can be very strong in that kind of, you know, format as well, depending on the PvE content you're doing. So yeah, I mean, I think the solo leveling collab as a whole, guys, is A tier in PvE and S tier in PvP. So that's going to be it for the tier list right there, guys, as of the end of June of 2025. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below in terms of where we rank the characters. Do you guys think that I should have ranked them differently, or how do you guys have them ranked on your own personal tier list? But that's going to be it for the video. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'm going to see you guys on the next one, man. Peace out. Have a good rest of your day, guys. See you later.